Happy New Year and welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we are taking a look at the Genaray BLT-60 Torpedo. This is a focusable daylight, super portable LED light. Let's just talk about this awesomeness here. First off, it is a 5,000 lux 60 watt light. It has interchangeable diffusion and filters. It goes from 100 to 1% in brightness. It has a 15 to 75 degree beam. It is color balanced to 5600 Kelvin. The CRI is greater than 95 and the TLCI is 96. It has a universal 100 to 240 VAC adapter. It uses Sony V-mounts. It has a micro XLR 3-pin plug, and it also has an adapter for V-mount batteries. So lots of power options. Now it does have about 50,000 hours of operation time, and it has a quiet thermostat, controlled fan. It is a 60 watt COB LED array, fan cooled, and the best part about this light is it is 2.6 pounds. It is super light, and it could be yours on B&H. I did get it on one of their flash sales, but it's still on sale for $60 off at $238.99, and I'm gonna already say yes. Let's just unpack this thing. One thing I do wanna let you know is I did buy the Bowens mount because I'm getting into doing, I have some Bowens mount soft back boxes, umbrellas, and this is really something great to have. Even the aperture stuff is Bowens mount, so you could probably add it to this. But let's go ahead. First off, it's got a very nice nylon case. It feels pretty padded, not super padded, but enough to protect it. And opening this thing, wow, we get lots of goodies. We get what looks to be an 8-foot power cord. It's kind of like a computer, like you would plug into your computer. It's got the 3-prong power cord. It is 3-prong, and it's got that kind of computer cord here. I'll hold it to the camera so you can see it. And you get almost like a computer power pack here, and it is a micro XLR. A 3-pin, and it does have the little release button here. The cord is not too long on this, and there is no strap, so you can't hang it. So you will have to use like twisty ties or rig up something. But still very, very cool. And then you have this very nice nylon pouch here. Oh, it does come with a shoulder strap, which I'll never use, so that'll stay inside the case. And let's go ahead and unzip the nylon patch here, and you get lots of crazy goodies. You get the D-Tap XLR mini adapter, and you get a red filter, you get a green filter here, we have a blue filter, and we have an orange. This is probably the tungsten filter to make this thing tungsten because it is 5600 Kelvin. It is a daylight only light. And then you get two diffusion. You get this lighter diffusion, and get this a little bit frostier diffusion, and some instructions. And looking inside the case, it is pretty well padded. You get a nice divider here to separate it from the power brick and everything. There are straps inside, Velcro straps to hold the light in. And just picking this thing up, wow, look at this. Super duper light weight. Wow, this is very well built. It is ABS plastic, but it feels metally. It's got the yoke actually is metal. It's got that nice painted brushed metal feel to it. And let me just put the case down here for a minute, and let's take a look at the light itself. Very cool. This is made of rubber, very nice rubber here, and it's very functional. The knobs on this thing are very tight, very different than the Shanks one where it came with only like one mount. There's like a half a yoke, and it just was so back heavy, and it just kept falling backwards and forwards. I'll post that review right here. This is definitely so much better than the Shanks. The knobs are beautiful. Look, they're not going to go anywhere unless you loosen this thing. They are not going to go anywhere. But just look at that. Super cool, super awesome. And you'll notice that the yoke also has 2 points of connectivity. It has 2 thumb screws. So if you put this on a C-stand, you can tighten that down, or if it's just on a light stand, you can tighten it down, or if you just want to have extra support. It also looks like you can mount it this way as well. If you have a light stand, you can kind of pop it through and mount it this way as well as this way. Super awesome. Lots. You can see on the bottom here you have your Sony NPF, and there is and I'm glad they included this, there is, and let me move this, there is an actual Sony NPF battery release. Awesome. And of course you have your micro 3-pin XLR jack on the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up and take a look at it. But so far, just holding it in my hand, I am super, super impressed with it. Oh, also, I do want to note that it looks like it has some kind of like hot shoe mount on the bottom here. I'm not really sure if this is design or whether it's actually for something, but I will try to find out. Looks almost like you can mount like a hot shoe or something to it. Not really sure. But there you go. It's right there. Okay, so here we have the Genaray Torpedo. This is the BLT-60. It is not a sandwich. It's interesting they called it BLT. Anyway, bad joke. Anyway, so here we have the back, and you see a brilliant light up LCD screen. Yes, 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 I love it when things have an LCD screen that you can see in the dark. It has your on-off button. It does have your up and down for the brightness, and you do have this micro USB right here that says Wi-Fi. Now, I'm not sure what this is. I did download the instructions and I read them, and I can't figure out what this is for. I don't know whether you can plug this in and control it via Wi-Fi or an app. I don't know if you can string these together or whether that's just for firmware updates. It does say Wi-Fi on it. Or it might be, you might be able to plug in like a cell phone like power pack and power this, which would be a third option to power this, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play with it and figure it out. Or if you know, in the comments below, let me know what this micro USB is for. But as you can see, it has a micro 3-pin XLR, and it does have the Sony NPF battery mount right there. And of course, it does include a adapter for a V-mount battery. Like I said, this is a computer brick. This is kind of short. You do, however, get a 8-foot computer cord, so it's very, very long. So you can just plug this into the wall if you're inside. You're really not going to need V-mount batteries unless you, or an NPF battery unless you really, really need one. Plugging it in is just fine. I use these small twisty ties to kind of hold things up. Spinning this around, as you can see, this thing is solid. You give this a little spin, and that widens and tightens your beam angle. Now there are markings on both sides, so you're not going to play the game of, you know, where am I? You can just look on either side. It's going to be there. Super cool and very smooth, very well made. The barn doors do come off. You have to hold it here and twist counterclockwise. I'm not going to take them off right now, but they do come off. And let's go ahead and shut this off for a minute. One thing I will say is that you do have to press and hold the buttons. The buttons are a little slow, so that's one of the bad features on this, is that the buttons are very slow moving, and when you're adjusting the brightness, you do have to give it some heft, and it does take a while. And it might take you a couple presses because it may not read the presses unless they're hard presses. Let's go ahead and check out the beam strength. Let's turn this on. This is 1%. Now, I am going to show you, this is the other downside, is when you are going up, if you notice, it is not a smooth up and down. It is jumping up in levels. It is very jittery, which means it's going to go level, 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 level. You will notice a jump. And right in my face, this is super bright, so I'm going to turn this way down. This is 100% at like maybe maybe about, you know, 1 inch. It's blinding. You can't really stare right into this. So I will turn this all the way down. And as you can see, it's kind of jumping down in steps. Going up, I do have to give this a hefty push, because if you just light push it, it doesn't read. So you do have to kind of hold it a bit. And those are the only two downsides with this light, is that you do have to kind of press, sharply, hard press and hold down the buttons to get them to move to the next level. And it does kind of jump up in steps. It is not a smooth transition, but that is not a huge deal for me. I'm not going to be adjusting this thing while I'm filming, and I really don't mind it, considering that the rest of the unit is made so solidly. So very, very impressed with this light. Okay, so here we are, 15600 Kelvin. This is 4.5 shutter, and this thing is at 100%, super bright, super awesome. Let's go ahead. Now, I did notice that when this is on battery, the battery goes out. These Sony NPF batteries go out very, very quickly, and in about half an hour, you'll be at like 50%. Of power, so it's not at 100% power, even though the battery is fully charged. And let's go down to 50% here, and there's your 50%, and there is your 1%er. That's 1%, which is super cool. And as you can see, it is a nice wide beam. Let's go to spin it, and let's cut down to the 15%. That's 15% at 1%. Let's go up to 50% here. And that's about 50% at a tight beam angle. That is a 15-degree beam angle, and the wider is a 75-degree, and there is your 100. So super, super cool. Very, very nice. I'm not going to go through trying all the different gels and the tungsten gel and things like that. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. So that's it. That is the white wall test. So my final thoughts are for $238.99, and I would go to B&H right now because I think it's $60 off, so it's usually $60 more. Super affordable. This is a great piece of gear. I've had this thing on for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I have not heard a fan at all. If there is a fan, I can't hear it. Also, I would suggest for 20 bucks, pick up the Bowens mount. A lot of the Aperture stuff use the Bowens mount. You get softboxes and beauty dishes and umbrellas, and this is really just a great thing to have. 20 bucks extra, not a big upgrade, and you do screw off the barn doors here, and this just screws on, and then you add all your Bowens stuff. Super great. I highly recommend it. I'll put a link below for the mount as well, because I think it's a super useful thing that you should buy with this light. But that's it. That is all the review for the day. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know in the notes below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we post brand new videos. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is New to Me.